Right, so this is our chapter or test 3 review, question 6. This has a lot of different parts that kind of this one will really help you prepare for the test. And so first we're going to start out with some keywords. So it says approximately normal, and so that's a clue to us that we are going to be using the normal calculator. And so we're going to pull that up. And for this first part A, we are selecting this random pregnancy from the whole population. It doesn't talk about sample size, and so we're just going to keep this mean and standard deviation that it gives us. And then less than 144, type that in. This is our answer right here. This is the only one that says less than 144 days. And so we're going to put this into perspective. So basically just times this number by 100, or move the decimal over 2 places. So I'm just going to do that. Now it's asking us, from the same population, if we take a sample of 18 pregnancies, what is it going to look like? So up here it says that it's approximately normal, and the distribution should stay normal because it's a reflection, it's part of this. And our mean does not change, but our standard, so I got that from there, but our standard deviation does change. It's that equation where you have the population standard deviation over the square root of your sample size. And so we're going to go ahead and find that right there. So we're going to start out with this number right here, the standard deviation, and we're going to divide that by the square root of our sample size of 18. So now we can still use our normal calculator because it's still normal, but we're going to have to change up our standard deviation because it's the standard deviation for a sample size of 18. So we're just going to type in what we already found, and everything else stays the same because it's still the same mean, and it's still asking for less than 144 days. And then the same thing as before, this is the only one that says or less, and you're going to times this by 100 again, or move the decimal places over 2. So now we're doing the same thing, but it doesn't ask us to find this first. We have to do that all on our own without typing it in. Same rule still applies, so we keep our mean at 149, but now we're going to change our standard deviation to our equation, that is the given standard deviation divided by the square root of our sample size. And I like to type in, I would type in at least 5 decimal places just to be safe. The question asks for you to do 4, so at least 4. But I would do just a handful just to make sure that you don't, it's just so picky about decimals and such. So then that's our answer right there. And then the same thing as before. And so this is just asking about, asking us to interpret this number right here. And so if we remember the rules of whether or not you can consider it unusual. It's less than the 0.05. So this is less than 0.05 because it's 0.01. So it would be unusual for it to be less than 149. And then this one is the same steps except for on our normal calculator. So we're finding something within 8 days of the mean. So we're going to click on between, and we have to change our standard deviation again to match our sample size of 17. And so we're going to go and do that step again, where we take our given and divide it by the square root of our sample size. And then for this part right here, so it's within 8 days of the mean, and so we're still talking about this mean that's up here. Don't let this question mess you up. It's this mean. And so all we're going to do is we're going to, plus or minus from the mean. So we start with 149, our mean, and we're going to minus 8. So we'll type that in here. And then we're going to do the same thing, but just add 8. And that's our answer right there. And there we go.